we will learn what is called the immutable, data structure, which is the strings and the tuple. We'll learn the reasons why we say strings are immutable. Okay? Now, the first reason is this. No method to add characters to a string. There's no method in Python that will enable you to add character to a string. Once you created a string, it cannot be changed. So that is why we say it is immutable. For instance, we declare a variable and we name it letters. And indeed, we store a string called filling. Now, if you want to add another alphabet, like another character to this filling, it will not work. We have the add function in what? In Python that adds a particular, value or character, parameter, you may call it all the same, to whatsoever, data. But in this case, when we say add s, so that we can have fillings, and then we print the letter, the content of the container, it will not work because we say it is what? Immutable. This is string object has no attribute add. So you remember when we were checking attributes, functions in modules, all of those, when you check the one for strings, you will find out that it does not have the add attribute. So all the attributes that could enable you to add or change a string is not in, there's not that such attribute in Python. So now if we move forward again, there's another thing we want to see. Now reason 2. No method to delete characters as well in strings. Just like you cannot add, you cannot delete. So in Python, when we want to delete, we can say remove. So now we declare this variable fillings already, and then want to remove this s again, and then to make it filling just like in our first, string. But that cannot be possible because we say this data type or structure rather is not mutable. That is, it is immutable. Now, if we run this now, you can see that it will throw an error. This string object has no attribute what remove. So once created, you cannot remove, you cannot add. So that is how powerful that is. Now we want to again proceed by checking this reason number 3. We have reason number 3 why we say strings are immutable, data structure. And again, if you observe, you would find out that one cannot change any element. You cannot replace any element. You will change it. You cannot add, you cannot remove. No, would you change it? Maybe you want to change a particular, character or element. Now, we declare this variable and then we store fillings as a string inside of it. But now we want to slice it with 0. We want to change this first, character to p. That's slicing again, right? So you need to understand slicing very well to know this. So slicing means that in this very particular content or container where we have fillings, we're saying that the first one will slice the first, character or elements there, and we try to change it to p, we quote it to p instead of f. So when we print this now, it will print an error. It will create an error. Do you see? Because it will say string object does not have support items, assignment. So you can assign another, variable to or elements to it. That is why we said it is what? Immutable. Now, strings example or sample, CHM knowledge is declared as a value of this particular variable, and then we print available string function and the method. So we want to know all the methods that are in strings, okay? String method is for s in this directory sample. If we say this slice 0 and all of, let's just run, you see all the methods that are in strings. So when we run this now, you see, you can capitalize it, you can case fold, you can center count in code, in switch, expand tab. So this is just what I was saying. And then you can upper it, change it to uppercase. You can title, you can swap case, you can strip, you can start wish, you can replace. All of this are the functions you can do with what? String. So now we want to learn, these are numerous, documentation here for you to go and read and study, as this material will be released to you as well. So we say string methods explanation. Python has a set of, built-in methods that you can use on strings, okay? Not all strings method returns new value. It should be returned, right? As English, methods return, new values. They do not change the original, string. So all you do is you modify, but it does not change the original string itself. But you cannot change. You can only modify, and then in modifying, it does not change the original string. Okay? Now we have what we call the method, which is description. We have capitalize, converts the first character to uppercase. We have the case fold, it converts strings into lowercase. Now we're trying to explain all of these functions you see, or rather some, because it's not all we can, explain. But as you can see, enough is being explained. Almost all, if not all, I think, as you can see. So please, you go and read all of this. We'll not be going through all of them, but we'll be, dealing with a few of them practically where you can see. Now, modifying string in Python, like I said, you can only modify, but you cannot, change. Now, the upper method returns the string in uppercase. If you want to print this hello world all in, capital letter, you use what we call upper. When you declare the variable and then you say print greetings as the variable here as a uppercase. When I run this, all of this hello world should be printed out in capital letter. Do you see? Hello world. Now again, we have first name as a variable and it takes an input. What is your name? And then surname input types your surname. And then we say the full name is the concatenation of the first and the last name, right? Which is the surname. And then we print this particular statement. If name is, then we put the full name. I mean, my name is, then we put your name, your full name. So when we run this, it prompts me now to put in my first name. You say, what is your name? My name is Aaron again. Don't forget. Such a beautiful name. Now I do enter. You're now asking me for surname. My surname is Kenneth, of course, as you can see, like this. And then I do enter, and it returns my full name. My name is what? Aaron Kenneth. So interesting, right? So let's go down a bit. Now you can lowercase, right? Now we declare this variable token in capital letter, but we want to write out this very particular token, this value of this character, all in lowercase. So if I run this now, it will return token in lowercase. You see that? So you can modify, but the original string remains this in capital letter. Let's just try that. If I now want to print the content of the original, string, just put the name and you run. You see, it returns token, still in capital letter. So it does not change the original content. Like we say, you only modify it based on how you want to see it. But as string is concerned, you cannot change it. Now, the strip method removes any white space from the beginning or the end of the string. So where if there's white space, like as you can see here, we have a space here, it will strip off, every, redundant space like this. So you say print length and you put a, the length of this, that means it will strip all of this unnecessary, space and return only the real, and when you count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then this is 15. So that is what this is saying, that in all of this we have 15, characters, because empty space is counted in Python, right? But then all we are most concerned about is the main, words, or sentence itself. There are times you will not want this space. So all of this len does is that it counts the value and then including also anything in that space is a character. Then when you now use strips, we just counted the len, right? When we now use strip, it will take away the empty space and return only the main value. That is why you see strip A is equal to A strip, and this in open brackets, close, you now say print length of this one. Now A is what we're trying to print. And then when you apply the strips, then that means it removes all of the trailing space. So if we run this, we expect to see only 13 now, not longer 15. So that is that. Now going forward, we want to again say, this is very important, you can split. When you use the split, it creates a list of words from a string. So with splitting this now, a list of what? Words from a string. Now we say a variable phrase is contained, the lot is good. As a string, then we list the words. We have how many words here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we put the phrase, which is the variable, to split. And then we list the words. So when we run this now, it will split all of the words with a comma, you see. The Lord is good, like this. Let's go on. Then we want to see the type of phrase. Now, what is the type of the phrase? When we run this, it tells us it's a string. Even as you can see, this value is a phrase, is a string. Now I want to do this type, list words. Of course, when we run this again, you see it's a list. Okay, because when you check, listed it here. Because we use the split. This return as a list. So now we'll continue. Then we'll be dealing with list as well. So don't worry, you would understand. List is more like when you have a list of variables or elements, and then always enclosed in what? The square brackets. So that is that. And then when you come down this way, we'll continue. This is very important. We've used the split. So now we want to do what is called replace. The method replace method replaces a string with another string. So in this case, we want to print A and then replace the H with Y. Are we together? So now we expect to see yellow world. And when we run this, again, don't forget, this is just modification. You see yellow world. But the original string value remains hello world. When I do this, I can run. You see, hello world. So that is that. That's just a modification. Now we want to see the type of A. When we run this, it should tell us that it is a string. Now, if I type the A, run the A, which we just ran, of course, it's the hello world. Now I can go on by saying, okay, we want to take a count method. There's a method called count that returns the number of times a specific value occurs in a string. So it finds instances of the separator. Now it will tell you how many times a particular, character repeats itself or occurs in a particular, specified value. So in this case, we have L, which repeated itself thrice. So in this variable text, we declare this very particular sentence, hello world Sam. And then when we print this text and we put the count of L, it tells us how many times L repeats itself or occur in this very particular sentence, which is 3. Now we continue. And then again, we want to do what we call concatenate. Now, you can only concatenate strings. You can do mathematical operation, arithmetics, right? Because strings are not numbers. So in such, but you can join two strings together just as in words, right? Like the hello world we're so familiar with, we will now declare a variable A to be hello and then variable B world, and we want to join the two to have hello world. So we can say the C now is equal to A, then plus space. This is how to create a space between, and then we say plus B. That means A, this hello plus world will give us what we call the hello world. Or you can try single quotation, all the same, it works. Then we will now print the value of C. And when I run this code, you will see hello world. Now, greetings again is a variable we created, greetings and then hello. Now we've done this, we just want to run hello 4 times. Now it multiplies the value of the variable greetings 4 times, just like when we shouted hallelujah the last time in our first class in Python, I think. So now if we run this, we should see greetings, hello, hello 3 times. Hello, hello, 4 times. Hello, 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 hello. So that is that. Now we have strings method. Now use the format method to insert, number into what strings. We have a variable which we declare as age, and then the value is 16. Then there's a text, my name is John, and I am. Then when you put this parenthesis, it's a placeholder. You say print text, and then format it as what the age. So that means it will say, my name is John, I am, and I am 16, and I'm 16. So this one in dark will print the value and then not the age itself. So when we run this now, you can see my name is John and I am 16. Now the format method takes unlimited number of arguments and are placed into the respective placeholders, like we said. So in this case now, we want to say, okay, we declare a variable quantity which is equal to value 3. Item number is 567, and then price is 49.95. Then my order, then we'll put a placeholder. Now, each of these placeholder, we might decide to place any value, variable value. That is what it means. Now, I want 3 quantity. We might put quantity here as we specify. Can you see? 3 quantity pieces of item and item number. We'll put this in placeholder, and the placeholder, then for the price, we'll put the price in this placeholder. Then we'll print it in this order. My order is dot format, quantity will come, item, and then it will be replacing all of this, placeholders. So if I run this now, do you see? I want 3 pieces of what? Items, 567 for $4.95. Now again, when we continue with this, you will see that we want to say, okay, you can use index number 0 to be sure the arguments are placed in the correct, placeholders. Now we have quantity again, and then we have item number declared, we have price, and then we say my order rather, I want to pay, you put the number according to what the slicing. You say $2 for 0 piece of item is 1. So when we run this, you see it will come in this order. We have the quantity, the item number, and the price. So when you print this now, you see I have a pay of this, because the pay now goes with the price. And then now when we slice based on this 0, this one is 2. So starting here is 0, we have 1, and this is 2. That is why you have this return. And then 1 here will be returned for this, which is 0, and this is 1. Return for this, and then we have 2. 0 for this, which is this 3 here. So that's how it works. Now we say as as a variable is equal to jump, print as and capitalize it. So all we're trying to see is that we have only this. Okay, when we say capitalize, it will capitalize just the first letter of the word or sentence. As you can see in John, you will see just the J capitalized. So that's what capitalize means. Please, the moment you see capitalize in Python, let it not reflect on your memory as the normal capitalize as you would see it to be that it will capitalize everything. But just the first one, that is what we call the sentence case, right? Yeah. So now we want to see the type of as that is that variable, and it said it's a string. So of course it's a string, this jump. Now I want to print the help of the variable capitalized. What does it do? So when you check, it will tell you that capitalized method of built-in string instance return a capitalized version of the string. More specifically, make the first character to have uppercase and the rest lowercase. You remember our help in our previous classes. Now we declare another variable, my string. We love CHM platform, and then my string you capitalize and only capitalize the first letter of the word or the sentence. As usual, again, when you run this, we have this first letter capitalized. Now I want to print this very particular method and see all the functions you can perform with it. And then when you see we have all of this, readjust, split, R whatsoever, these are all the things you can use, the title, translate, upper, and the rest of them. So now in this case again, we want to say, okay, a sentence, I am going to school, and then we want to title. When you title, all it does is that it capitalizes the first letter of the word in the sentence. So when we run this now, you see that each of the words in this sentence are capitalized. You see, I am going to school. That is what title does, right? So now, we want to end this particular, class here. As we return in our next class, we'll be looking at the tuples. Thank you for staying with us. See you in our next video.